What's going on in Hollywood? Coming up next, Tinseltown Talkies.
Hello and happy Thursday to you. We're 1 week away from Halloween. Welcome to the Rant Radio Network. You're listening to TinselTown Talkies on this beautiful Thursday evening. Hope you're having a great day, great night, wherever you are. You'll see an empty seat next to me. It's not going to stay empty for long. I am Pimo. Rasha will be here shortly. You know, LA has the worst traffic in the world, or at least we think it's the worst traffic in the world, right? So she is on her way. She will be here shortly. So you'll have me for a few minutes here, and we'll have Rasha join us in shortly. I did want to talk about a couple of things before she does get here. First of all, a few topics we're talking about today in the show. We'll be talking about a little bit of Hollywood meets politics in New York. We'll be talking about some Corey Feldman. We're talking Disney India. There's some news about Monuments of Men, as well as the film Jack Ryan. Got some gossip for you from Bollywood, some stars, and some issues happening over there on the other side of the world. Going to talk about the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and we're also going to talk about some more Hollywood and politics. It's crazy how the two sides mix. We're lately seeing a lot of fundraisers happening where Hollywood stars will contribute to a particular candidate. There was a race in New Jersey last week where the winner in a special New Jersey election had won, and he was financially backed by some Hollywood stars. Jerry Brown, who's the governor of California, he's going to be running soon for a re-election, and there's actually going to be announced just today. There's going to be a major Hollywood backing for that. Hillary Clinton had her fundraiser here recently. Obama's had his fundraisers here. So Hollywood and politics, they mix way more than anybody will like or not like, but they coexist. And we'll be talking about some other shenanigans where the two industries kind of cross. I want to talk about a couple of things first before Rasha gets here. Interesting note from Nicolas Cage. He's an interesting actor. He picked some interesting roles. I have lost track of his career, but he was in a TV interview recently, and he has accused Hollywood of ignoring Asian talent. Haven't seen Nicolas Cage co-star among too many Asian actors or actresses, but we have seen him in a film called Bangkok Dangerous, which had an Asian theme to it. But he talked to the Chinese state broadcaster CCTV. He's promoting a film called Outcast, which is actually a joint U.S.-China production. And he was calling on Hollywood to have more Asian actors and actresses in mainstream cinema. We did see some kind of crossover recently. If you watched the Pirates of the Caribbean series, Chow Yun-fat was in the third installment. Just today I was watching on TV Tomorrow Never Dies, which was a Bond flick. Michelle Yeoh was the Bond girl in that film. So we've had Jet Li's done films, Jackie Chan's done films. We've seen a handful of people from the Hong Kong film industry cross over. And interestingly enough, next month, Spike Lee's Old Boy, which is based on a Korean film, is releasing in the United States. So it's not like we're exactly overlooking Chinese actors, but you have people like Tony Leung, who's made a great name for himself in China and Hong Kong, and I don't know how many people in Hollywood have actually come across who he is. Great actor. He's done some of the greatest mainstream films you can think of out of China and out of Hong Kong. So it'd be great. Maybe he's got a point here where we'd like to see maybe some more people who've done great work across the seas come over here. The same could certainly be said about Bollywood. And speaking of Bollywood, Anil Kapoor, who many of you may have recognized from Slumdog Millionaire, he had a small role in Mission Impossible, the latest one, MI4. He also played a role in 24 with when it was on Fox with Kiefer Sutherland. So he had acquired the rights for 24. Took it to India, And there's an article that came out last night in the Malaysia Sun with Anil Kapoor actually admitting that he took some tips from Tom Cruise. So here's a little bit of crossover where you see Hollywood and Bollywood start working together. So the article, I'll read the first sentence. Actor Anil Kapoor, who underwent rigorous physical training for his debut production of 24, says he took tips from Hollywood actor Tom Cruise, especially from the sequences that required him to run. So we do see a little crossover here of even stunts and what have you, having not only a Hollywood, hint to it, but a Bollywood hint to it as well. So we see both sides of the picture here. So maybe while Nicolas Cage may have a point about seeking more, ethnic talent in Hollywood. I do believe we are making some progress. We're seeing more and more actors and productions being jointly produced, and more ethnic talent making their way into starring roles into major productions. So I think as long as we, keep on our track of doing this, we'll see quite a few people that aren't monotonous or of one, particular background be in Hollywood. So this is something that's definitely something else to look forward to, and I think we're doing quite well on that route. Do want to switch gears? I know it's October. We're not even at Halloween yet, but I guess the award season is kind of getting ready to get underway about now. We had the Hollywood Film Awards, and it's intriguing because now there's a question of whether the Hollywood Film Awards are now a prelude to the Oscar season. And so I'm really curious about, if you want to chime in on an award season coming up, feel free to call us in here at 855-969-RANT. That's 855-969-7268. Sandra Bullock, for example, who was in the film Gravity, she may be in the running for an Oscar for Best Actress. Maybe maybe the film itself will be up for Best Film. Sandra Bullock was honored at the Hollywood Film Awards, so there is a question of whether she will, if that award will then parlay into her getting into something come Oscar season. Now, Oscars are now, 3, maybe 4 months away, about 4 months away. So we've got some time to see what happens here. We still have to go through the Golden Globes. We still have to go through several other awards before we get to the Oscars. So a lot could happen between now and then. And speaking of awards, I was going to save this for when Rasha gets here, and we still will discuss it with her when she's here. But interesting development with Monuments of Men, which was a George Clooney release. Well, I should clarify, it's George Clooney production with him starring in the film. It's got a great cast. John Goodman's in it. Matt Damon's in it. It's one of the situations where basically George Clooney picked up the phone and said, "Hey, do you want to be in a film?" And everybody said yes. Well, the film was supposed to release next month, and it was supposed to be possibly on track for an Oscar run. Now the film's being pushed back to 2014, which for all intents and purposes takes the film out of the Oscar running. So we may have Monuments of Men, which could have made some noise in this Oscar season, no longer in the Oscar run. So that'll be interesting. That's something Rasha and I will talk more about, our perspectives on why a film like that would be pushed back. Going to push another film which is getting pushed is Jack Ryan. Now, if anybody knows Jack Ryan, the character, it's he was in The Hunt for Red October. He was in plenty of other films. Basically, he was created by Tom Clancy, and God rest his soul, he passed away earlier this month. Jack Ryan was slated for roughly a Christmas release. That film is also being pushed back to January, maybe February, not sure yet. So we have two major films that have some clout. Just so you know, the person playing Jack Ryan is also the same person who played Captain America, so Chris Pine. So we have films here with major actors that have a lot of history behind them in terms of both story and also its role in Hollywood, and two films being pushed back several months. Now, Jack Ryan probably would not have made an Oscar run, so its pushed back isn't such a bad thing, at least in terms of award season. But it's curious to see how Monuments of Men may affect George Clooney's run for the Oscars. So 2 films being pushed back here, and so we'll see how those 2 films play out. I'll definitely be watching both those films. Monuments of Men is based on World War II, and I'm a World War II buff. I studied in college, so I'll definitely be watching that film. And I've always watched Jack Ryan's films from Hunt for Red October back in '89. Most recently, The Sum of All Fears, which starred Ben Affleck. So I'll definitely be watching both those films. And speaking of films, 12 Years a Slave just came out last weekend. I did get a chance to watch it. I highly recommend it. We're kind of in a black renaissance right now in Hollywood, and we're seeing a lot of great films getting into the nitty-gritty of America's not so popular history. For every film that glorifies the things we've done great, there are these occasional films that kind of look into the topics that we would like to leave, that some people may like to leave buried, but still worthy of discussion. And that's what 12 Years a Slave is. We are actually working on having the writer of that film come in next week. So if you tune into us on the Halloween show, we could very well have the writer of 12 Weeks a Slave either calling us in or joining us here in studio. So stay tuned to our Twitters and our Facebook pages and to the Rant Radio Network for that. Speaking of Twitter, be sure to follow us on Twitter. Our handle is TinselTown Talk. You also may want to check out the Rant Radio Network. They're also on Twitter at Rant Radio Network, and there's no O in network, so it's RANTRADIONETWRK. Be sure to check them out. They're our host studio here. They've been great to us so far in this first season of our run. And also find us on Facebook. You can like us. We are on Facebook. We have our fan page there, Tinseltown Talkies. You can also find Rasha and I on Facebook. Rasha's at Rasha Goel, RASHAGOEL. And I'm Pimo, but my name is Parimal Rohit, PARIMALROHIT. So you can definitely find both of us on Twitter and Facebook. Be sure to like us, follow us. We'll always be talking about Hollywood news and Bollywood news on both pages. We'll also be announcing all of our guests. Like I said, next week we will likely have the writer of 12 Years a Slave in here in studio to talk about the film. Also recommend you check out if you're into high quality B films, Machete Kills. That film is very entertaining, and we'll go from there. All right. So be sure to stay tuned with us. We'll be coming back in a few minutes. You're into Rant Radio Network. We're TinselTown Talkies. Rosh will join us in a minute. I'll talk to you in a few.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300. All right, and welcome back. Happy Thursday to you. We are here for round 2 of TinselTown Talkies on the Rant Radio Network here in Hollywood, and I believe I have a special guest on the phone. Hello? Can the phone call?
Well, hello, Timo.
Oh, it's Rasha calling me in our radio show. You're calling into your radio show.
That is right.
Wait, I can't see you here. Where are you?
Can you believe I am down the street? I've been stuck in traffic. Let's talk about the quality of life in Los Angeles.
There's a quality of life in Los Angeles?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I think being stuck in this traffic just kills you.
Oh man.
Insane.
You know, you sent me a photo the other day, right?
Which photo?
It's a throwback photo. And you know what today?
Yeah, it's a Thursday throwback.
And you know, yeah, today's Thursday throwback. At some point in the show, I'd like to get it up now if we can, but since someone could see you here, we are now seeing you on screen. You can't see us. You're on the phone. Who are you with?
Okay. You don't know who that is?
I want you to tell us who that is.
Okay, so let me give you a hint. He's the host of Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, I know who that is. Now, tell me the context of this photo.
Tom Bergeron. This was one of my first production jobs. Can you believe that?
Wow. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it looks awesome. Why did you not stay on the show?
Well, this actually. No, let me tell you. The picture's not from dancing. The picture is from. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a show called Hollywood Squares.
Oh, I remember that show.
You remember that show with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes, I remember that show.
Yeah, so I worked in production on that show, and this was one of the days behind the scenes.
Nice. So I got to put you on the spot. I got to put, just like they did in Hollywood Squares, I got to put you in your square spot.
Oh, no.
How far are you away from getting in the studio?
Literally 5 minutes.
5 minutes, so we get to talk some real stuff, huh?
Yes.
So I gotta tell you what we talked about. We had a fun show so far.
So I can chime in on what's going on.
So Nicolas Cage, I think you know who he is.
No. Who is that?
Nicolas Cage, come on, the guy from
Come
Con
on,
Air.
of course I know who he is.
Gone in
I had
60
a secret
Seconds.
crush on him.
Oh, really? Well, you know, he was on a Chinese television show the other day, and he said Hollywood is doing he basically called out the production companies, and he said Hollywood is doing a poor job of incorporating Chinese talent into its productions. So that's the question to you. How is Hollywood doing when it comes to minority recruitment in mainstream cinema?
Well, I think that there definitely is room for more growth, and I think Hollywood definitely still needs to incorporate more ethnic actors, more minority-based actors. I think we're still lagging there. So I'm just curious to know, how is he helping the situation?
Well, the reason he was in China is because he's starring in a film which is actually co-produced by American and Chinese companies. So he's actually in a film that's actually, hopefully, if it makes money, could make some money for Chinese production. So he's doing something, I guess. Counts for
Yeah,
something.
that's kind of interesting.
Counts
I
for
mean,
something.
I think Hollywood's growing, and we are bringing, as like Patrick said, but there's very limited name roles for ethnic actors, and so I think that there definitely needs to be more room. Where, again, I think we are still falling into the stereotypes. Hollywood is not completely moved away from those stereotypical roles, not completely yet.
You know what's interesting? There was actually a headline. I wish I read the article, so I'm claiming ignorance here. But there was a headline, I think it came out yesterday, of how Hollywood needs. It basically said Hollywood needs to avoid casting certain races or ethnicities for Bible-based productions. I mean, that kind of goes to what you're saying about avoiding stereotypes. Picking up people who could play a role irrespective of the color of skin, right?
Right.
So we definitely have work to do, and that's kind of the point I think that Nicolas Cage was making was work still needs to be done. We've made progress, but we're not done yet, and there's still a lot of work to do. On that similar note, I was talking also about 12 Years a Slave. We're not going to talk about the movie, but there's an interesting concept kind of going around in Hollywood now that we're kind of in a black renaissance currently. There are a lot of great black-themed films that are coming out, including 12 Years a Slave, that are talking about legitimate issues. We're not talking just about, Tyler Perry making fun of everybody. These are real issues. Would you agree that we're currently in a black renaissance?
You know what? You were going. I need you to repeat that. You were kind of going in and out. So repeat what you were saying.
Okay. So I was saying how because of films like 12 Years a Slave, we're currently in a, there's this perception now, or not, there's at least a statement that Hollywood is currently undergoing a black renaissance. That we're not just having black comedies, we're actually also having films that are promoting real black issues that matter to everybody. So would you agree with, or would you at least, what are your thoughts on we being in a black renaissance in Hollywood?
I mean, I don't know if you necessarily need to categorize anything, I mean, movies are movies and films are films. Yes, we've got these certain films that, are focused on certain issues and topics, but I think when you sit and you categorize it, you just focus on one community. I'm not really sure if that's necessary, because I look at it as a film's a film. It's not necessarily just focused on one ethnic community.
And I actually 100% agree with you on that one, so we won't debate that issue because we're on the same page.
Yes, I'd love to talk about it. I'm going to actually be in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about one more thing before you get in. Ronnie Screwvala. Do you know who Ronnie Screwvala is?
Yes, he's a huge name in Bollywood.
He's a huge name in Bollywood. In fact, this guy is probably one of the biggest producers in Indian cinema of all time. And I'm sure you're very well aware that he was also involved with Disney.
Yes.
In fact, he was.
I believe he's one of the executives.
Well, he was the top executive at Disney India, and today he is stepping down. So Disney India. We'll talk about that in more detail when we get on here. I don't know if that news actually broke today, so I didn't know if you even heard about it before you even got in the car today. So we'll have to talk about that. We'll actually talk about that when you get in here in a little more detail.
You're talking about stepping down. I got something about stepping up. P. Diddy, I don't know if you've heard, he just recently launched his own music channel called Revolt.
Uh-oh. Now this I did not hear. You got up to date. You got to update me on this.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when I get in, but it should be quite interesting because it's a full 24-hour music channel with all the latest happenings, and it's, what's been great about it, I think, is that it's been one of the new channels to come out after social media, so he's gotten it to where people are involved with the channel, like through Facebook and through Twitter and things like that. But he's, of course, it's his network, but he's saying it looks promising. I have to check it out to see what, how it's doing, but I think it's going to be kind of a new thing for a lot of people. It's on Time Warner.
Well, we'll have to pay attention to it. Now, do you aware if this will be available on any network, or is it going to be, how can people watch this? Are you aware of any of that at all?
It's on Comcast Time Warner.
Okay.
Yep.
That should be interesting to check out. And we're kind of in an era now where music channels no longer play music. So I'm kind of.
I'm actually curious to see how this is going to pan out, right?
Exactly. So that'll be a curious thing to check out once that is up and running. Another thing we talked about while you were out, and I wanted to talk about this with you when you were here, is Monuments of Men, which is now pushed back to a 2014 release, which effectively takes it out of the Oscar running. What are your thoughts on George Clooney possibly being out of the Oscar race?
Wow. I wonder what Clooney's reaction to that is. But then I'm wondering, does that not really bother him because he's got Gravity?
Well, Gravity as a film may do well. He won't get any Oscar nods for the film.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. He did win an Oscar last year with Argo as a producer. I'm really curious how it just, to me, this is kind of a bit of a shakeup. I mean, you have a film with all these megastars. It's not just George Clooney. It's did I lose Rasha? I lost our host. So I gotta carry the show by myself again. I hope she's here. She's here. Rasha is here. So we get to continue our show as planned. Hi, Rasha.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I am
You should be happy because you're here now.
great.
Yes.
Not loving this LA traffic, but
Well, LA traffic is LA traffic. What are you going to do, right?
I am doing great.
Yeah. Well, we had a great show without you.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm not happy to hear that. That's
Well,
not cool.
Okay, we had enough show without you.
Okay.
How's that? We survived.
You survived. That's what I want to hear. You survived.
Still had a great show.
Whatever.
Well, we got a lot more to talk about. When I know we got a little bit to go before break.
Yes, we do.
But we were talking about George Clooney.
Yes.
Have you finished your thoughts on George Clooney?
Oh, about his film.
Monuments of Men.
Yes, and not making it in time for the Oscars.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I need to actually see more on the film. I thought it would have been neat for him to, be considered. I must be disappointing. I'm sure if I had a film that was so close. But do we know why it's been pushed back?
We will get it. We'll talk about that after the break.
Oh, after.
I want to give you credit for actually running in and talking about a topic before you even settled. I put you on the spot right there. That's what that was all about.
Are you testing my intelligence?
No. I'm showing off how amazing you are.
Oh.
That you could come in all frazzled from traffic and just get right into it.
That's right.
Just get right into it, man.
Right. Oh my gosh, we've got so much to talk about.
Yeah, way too much to talk about.
I think we've got time to talk about Monument Men before we head off to break.
No, we'll save that for the next segment.
Are you sure? Now, did you put up your throwback picture?
I did not put up my throwback picture.
Well, that's not fair.
Well, we'll put one up soon.
Soon?
I wanted today to be about you because I want next week. I'll put up mine next week.
Oh, really?
We'll alternate every week. How's that?
Okay, really.
No, next week's Halloween.
It is Halloween. So we have to dress up for Halloween.
What are you gonna make me dress up as? I gotta. You could probably pull off
I don't
any
know,
costume.
but will it involve a hat of some sort?
See, then I'm not dressing up. Then I'm being myself.
Let me give that some thought. I think it'd be fun to see you in some type of a scary character.
Well, a friend of mine has invited me to a party on Saturday,
Ooh.
and he wants me to dress up this Saturday, and he wants me to dress up as Heisenberg.
I gotta see that.
I gotta grow some more facial hair.
All right, we're gonna be right back after a few minutes. You are listening to TinselTown Talkies, exclusively on Rant Radio Network.
That's Rasha. She's having too much fun over there, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, two things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number One Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number one. There's only number one. There's only number one.
Three balls, two strikes, the pitch. Swing it.
Make your team look like pros with custom lineup cards. Whether you are a travel team, rec team, all-star team, or just some old guys playing slow pitch, we can make your team look a little better with some custom lineup cards. For the umpire, for the opponent, for the scorekeeper, for the dugout, no matter where your lineup card goes, You will look like a big league team with your team logo and name on top of your personalized lineup card. Just visit CustomLineupCards.com. With the best prices in town, you are sure to hit a home run with us. Visit CustomLineupCards.com and go pro.
Nurses Life Express provides unique apparel for all the hardworking nurses that wear many hats. It is apparel that expresses nurses' amazing, humorous, and caring personalities. After all, nurses are as influential as their united goal to help others. Nursing's not easy, but somebody's got to do it. For more information, please call 562-270-4312 or visit their website at www.nurselife.com. www.nurselyfe.com. Nurseslife.com, where nurses' lives are expressed.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one tequila.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
the
on.
old-fashioned way. Never mass produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one! Number one, tequila.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TinselTown Talkies.
With Rasha Goel.
And Pimo. Having too much fun here.
I know, seriously. Can I just say I'm so happy it's Thursday.
So thank God it's Thursday. Is that the new phrase now?
Yeah.
No more TGIF? TGIT.
TGTT. No, TGIT.
Thank God TinselTown Talkies. Is that what we trying to do here?
Yes. I was trying to tie it in.
Nice way to brand our name.
Yeah, exactly.
You
All right,
know?
so before we went to break, we were talking about Monument Men.
Yes, Monuments Men, yes.
Monuments Men.
Yes.
It's with
So
an
it is
S.
being pushed back to the first quarter of next year. That's according to Hollywood Reporter. They've confirmed it.
And why is that?
Well, I guess George Clooney wanted more time. He actually made the request to 20th Century Fox because he wanted more time to, quote, complete the hundreds of visual effects. So this may be a fun film to watch, actually, once in theaters.
I think so.
But it's ironic that they're focusing on visual effects because what's the point of the film? It's not a war film.
No, it's not. It is a World War II drama, though.
Yeah.
But it's about a bunch of art historians and museum curators, who are charged with trying to rescue art treasures that were stolen from the Nazis.
So I'm curious where the hundreds of visual effects comes into play with a bunch of art historians.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just
Do you think it might be in the artwork or?
I don't know. It just I gotta watch the film because it just when you're delaying a film and the reason is you want visual effects,
it better be
be damn good. Yeah. But this is a film about art historians. It's not even about the war.
I don't know. Maybe that doesn't that entice you to want to see it?
It does, and especially when you have the cast in it. So you got George Clooney, Matt Damon,
Kate.
I mean, it's
Kate Blanchett, Bill Murray, John Goodman.
It's too big. It's too big.
Good group, though.
So it's a great cast. We're going to switch gears to Corey Feldman. Actually, the two Coreys.
Remember that?
Anybody in the 80s and 90s can't forget the two Coreys.
Corey Feldman and
Corey
Haim.
Haim. Yeah, Corey Haim. I always want to say Haim. I don't know.
There they are. Oh,
yes.
my God.
Look
What
at them.
happened to them?
Look at that. that was unfortunately before the one on the right passed away.
Can you imagine people actually had the biggest crush on both of these guys growing up? But
well, they were actually. I mean, I'm speaking securely here. They were pretty adorable, us kids.
They were. I don't.
And then
Feldman looks okay. I'm not sure about Corey Haim in that picture.
Well, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But Corey Feldman had just come out with actually it's coming out next week.
With the book, right?
It's coming out tomorrow, I believe, with a tell-all book.
Okay.
And he actually is going into quite explicit detail. The book is called, it's a memoir, it's called Choreography.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because they spell it Corey.
Choreography.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. That's kind of clever.
But he details the sexual abuse both him and Haim had experienced during their days working in Hollywood.
It's kind of a dark book, huh?
It's a very dark book. And, if you read the book about what he says, he talks about how Haim came to him and admitted to what he went through. How producers said this is perfectly normal to have men sleep with boys. And then at one point, Haim proposed Feldman to sleep together, and Feldman said no.
Interesting.
And this is when they were pre-teen.
I mean, it's neat that they're like opening up about
Yeah,
this.
and it's interesting how this happens, 30 years later? I mean, this was in the mid-'80s, and now we're in the mid-2010s, or almost mid-2010s.
What do you think about that, the timing of it all? Like, why now? Why the need to open up now?
If you're really cynical, you could say that Corey Feldman wants more attention. It's been a while since he's done anything, I mean, that guy had such a great... I mean, if you remember him from The Goonies...
Oh, he was hot.
You were like, this guy's going to have a great career. He looks good.
I mean, he was in the market.
He was in the market, and he actually had films working for him. Things just went sour for him career-wise. So you always got to wonder if part of what's being in play here is a need for attention.
Which could be, but see, then my flip side to that is that, how many people are going to want to sit and read a dark book like this?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I remember reading some of the comments in some of the articles. There are some people like, I can't believe he's actually bringing this up. Like, there are people who don't want, especially nowadays when people have their own drama to deal with.
Right.
Who wants to hear about someone's Hollywood drama from 30 years ago?
Right.
It's not even fresh. It's 30 years ago. I mean, hey, look, more power to him for having the strength to do it.
Absolutely.
I do not.
Being open and talking about.
I do not want to
situations.
take away from. I do not want to take away from him, because this is hard to talk about for anybody. I don't care who you are.
And in his defense, it may even. I had read somewhere here that it's also maybe in part just to educate people who do push their kids into show business.
And this is good. And this is a good thing to know because I mean, if this isn't advertised. Like you said, if I have a kid and I want to take my kid to Hollywood, I want to know what's going on there before I put my kid to that, I mean, I wouldn't want my kid to be exposed to this. So knowledge is power. And,
absolutely.
Unless someone brings this up, we have no way of knowing what happens until it's too late sometimes,
So, well, if you're interested, you can check out
Choreography.
I love the title.
It comes out October 29th. So next week, I'm sorry.
Next
week. It does come out
right
next
before Halloween.
Week. Right before Halloween. I want to talk about Mayor Bloomberg. Do you know who he is, Rasha?
Yeah.
Mayor Bloomberg.
Yes, I do.
So Bloomberg is finishing up his term as New York mayor.
That's right.
And there has been speculation, and I call it speculation on purpose, because we don't know this for sure, but there's worry that with the new mayor coming in, that New York City will not be as Hollywood friendly as has been during Bloomberg's era. There's a stat in this article, which came out in the Hollywood Reporter just the other day. The incentives that it was like the city offered a 30% tax incentive to anybody who filmed in the state. There's something 450 production assistants that have been hired since Bloomberg initiated his policies that were very pro Hollywood. And this new mayor that's coming in, he's more on the liberal side, and he's trying to be more pro labor, but he's not necessarily being pro Hollywood. And we have a lot of great shows set in Hollywood. For example, The Good Wife is set in Hollywood. Right. The Michael J. Fox show is set in Hollywood. No, sorry, in New York. They're both set in New York. They're both set in New York. I'm 40 here. They're both set in New York, in Hollywood East, New York City. Yes, I should clarify, Hollywood East.
I mean, you've had movies out there too, like The Dark Knight.
Yes, exactly. So what happens if New York is lost as a market in Hollywood from a production standpoint?
I think it's going to be a tough game.
I mean, if you're a producer and you want to shoot in a big city, I mean, LA is your next choice, Chicago.
I mean, we're already having production problems here in our own city. I think
exactly. It's already expensive.
Keep the productions here.
It's already expensive to shoot here. And now you want to shoot in a big city environment. There's no other city in the country that could imitate.
Well, we don't have a guarantee about the new mayor mixing out.
We don't, and that's why I said this is all speculation.
Right.
It's all speculation.
But if it were to go haywire like that, I think there would be a big problem for Hollywood because, do we really want to see our productions now leaving the country? I mean, they already
some already are.
Some already are.
But would this exacerbate that? Will it take it up on a level? And I think yes.
I think it will.
I think because if it becomes harder. Hey, look. Nowadays, more than ever, and this is going to sound very cliche, but it's expensive to make a movie nowadays.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
I mean, gone are the days where you can make a quality movie on $500,000 or less.
Right.
Those days are gone.
Well, but you could get your Digicam out and shoot and put it up on YouTube. I mean, so everybody is making movies nowadays.
Well, I mean, there's making movies, and then there's making movies.
Right,
you know,
right.
I mean,
I know what you're saying, though.
I mean, you're in a production.
Yes.
You understand the challenges that you go through, and
Absolutely.
especially on a small budget production, it's tough.
It's very tough.
And then when you got to
really try to
deal, and then heck, in
maximize.
cities like LA and New York, we have permitting issues.
You're just
you have-
adding, more masala to the fire. there.
Exactly. I mean, I'll give you a little anecdote. No, last Friday, I had a film production actually shoot in my house. Now I happen to live in a city that's very blasé about it. The cops actually came, and they're like,
You're
"Can
kidding.
I be in the film?" Like the cops actually wanted to be in the film.
That's awesome.
They were trying to shut us down. You're trying to promote themselves,
That's
right? I
awesome.
mean,
Did they put him in?
no. Because it wasn't. No, there's no way to.
The scene didn't require
the
for it,
scene didn't
right?
require an officer in it. Yes,
You
actually,
invite the cops in and you make friends with them.
yeah, but that's interesting. So like it's like you have some cities like where I live in the burbs where you get away with it, but then if you're sitting in,
But these are huge cities, though.
and
And
that's
this
the
is
point.
where Hollywood. This is where production wants to be.
Yeah, and then when you have you have to hire union, you have these permits, you have to do all these things. There's nothing wrong with those per se,
right?
But it adds to the production cost, and it drives people to like Hong Kong or India or or Europe.
And you can't even get the same feel of those.
Not
cities,
not at all. So
I guess we'll have to wait and see who the new mayor is, and
yeah, and we'll see. Well, we'll see how his policies
regulations be,
kind of
right?
come to effect. So one thing I kind of left you hanging on before you get into some other stuff was we were talking about Ronnie Screwvala.
Yes.
Have you ever met the guy?
No, he's one of the few I haven't, but very talented.
He is a very talented guy. So actually, he's stepping down as of January 1st of next year.
Okay.
He's being replaced by Siddhartha Roy Kapoor, who's done a lot of studio business in India. But do you know anything? Have you studied do you know anything about Disney and DreamWorks? Have you aware of what happened with that?
As far as their,
Like, I'm talking from like a couple years ago.
Yeah. There were some talks of doing collaboration. Excuse me.
And you had actually emailed me this of now. This is the article you sent to me about Disney possibly looking at collaborating with 4 films in India.
Yes.
And so Disney is actually making a big presence in India, and part of this was spearheaded when Reliance had opened the door for DreamWorks to come in.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, you have all these studios that are clamoring to come in India, like Disney, like Sony, like Universal. And just if you could give any kind of opinion on how a Western studio could help Indian cinema get better, if it needs to be better. Do you have a take on that?
Wow.
I hate to put you on the spot, but
you're making me think hard on a Thursday.
Put your thinking cap on.
After
why do you wear that? Why do you think I wear the hat? It's my thinking cap. You need to do the same.
Oh my gosh, what was the question again? No. Well, I think anytime you have a collaboration or a collaborative effort, especially from Hollywood, I would see that as a plus point for India.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that, I think still Hollywood is very technologically advanced. I mean, some of the stuff, the visual effects that we pull off here are graphics, or CGs,
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's still unmatched in a lot of other countries. And I think by having this collaborative effort, number one, it's smart because now it's opened up a larger audience.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For the American industry, basically.
It has.
Anytime you've got, it's a country full of 1 billion people, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But I think on the technical aspect, I think it would be very helpful, and even maybe with marketing, because you have double the power now.
Yeah.
You are not just working, there. And I think to close, I just like to add, what would be really great is that when you have 2 industries like this collaborate, there's more of a creative process too.
There's
maybe something beautiful may emerge.
That's what
that would
and
kind
that's
of cross over to both.
That's what I'm hoping happens.
Oh,
we're time for break
music
again.
means it's time for a break. You're listening to Rant Radio Network.
And TinselTown Talkies. We'll be back with Rashad Pimo.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Building a custom home or business is a huge deal. For some, it's the largest project they'll take on in a lifetime. Choosing your team may be the most important part of ensuring a successful building project. Starting a project by working closely with Core Design will create what's just right for your lifestyle and your property. But selecting the right builder is perhaps the most important part of creating the team. At Core Design's customer service, quality craftsmanship, and integrity are the keys to our company philosophy. Your custom construction dreams are just a phone call away. Core Design at 213-453-1609. Once again, that number is 213-453-1609.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
Uh-oh, we're back. Hi. That's Rosh over there. I'm Pimo. TinselTown Talkies on the Rant Radio Network. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
On this wonderful Thursday.
Yes, I know we had an abbreviated version of Rasha today.
Yes. Thank you all, though, for...
And next week, you won't have her at all because she'll be acting as something else next week.
Yes.
Halloween and all.
It won't be
so
me.
she'll be in character. And I
As
gotta...
will you, Pimo.
I can't wear a hat. I gotta.
No, you can't wear a hat.
I gotta
You
sport
gotta
the shaved head.
Okay.
You know.
Maybe you could be a gangster.
I was that in real life at one point in my life, so I can't play that. That was just.
What?
Okay,
that's a whole other show topic.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. We're not here for that. One thing we are going to talk about though is anybody that's been in the city long enough knows about star maps. It's all over the place.
In Hollywood Walk of Fame, especially, is particularly famous.
I'm glad you brought that up because
I love the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Well, if you walk the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you'll never see these guys ever again.
You're kidding.
No, but city.
So I don't have to worry about walking by and somebody just saying, "Oh, you want to take a tour? Want to take a tour? Want to take a tour?"
Nope. Because what happened was the LA City Council. Well, it's a great after effect. I'll give you some context in a second. But the news is LA City Hall passed an ordinance that now prohibits those tours from promoting their product on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, specifically right in Hollywood Highland in that area.
Okay,
and
right there by the Dolby Theater.
Yeah. That's in that area, which is a very popular destination nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's a hot spot for tourists.
It's a hot spot for tourists, which is why these guys go there. Now, these guys are allowed to promote their product at designated kiosks, so they're not completely.
Well, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we don't
Yeah.
want people to lose business, okay?
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
It's a
Which
city,
is totally
it's a
fair.
tourist
Yeah.
city, right.
But this was partly spawned, and I don't know if this was. I don't know enough to know if this is completely related to these vendors. But twice there was a transgender person who was killed on this stretch of road, and some of the blame went on some of the vendors. Now, the vendors could have also been those actors who wear those costumes and
Right.
you
I
know?
mean, they, that strip sometimes gets hard to walk, that little thin walkway.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these characters that are hanging out there. And I know they're trying to make a living
And
or whatever they're doing, but like, it just gets so hard.
Well, I don't know if
to
you
be
know, but the
walking in it.
expectation is if you interact with those people at all in costume, the expectation is you at least give $1.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
If you ignore them, whatever, fine, no harm
But
lost.
stopping and saying hello, or even taking a picture.
Yeah.
That's more.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
But
$1.
even just saying hi, that's $1.
Yeah.
The fact that you interacted with them, and I believe there was one time where somebody failed to pay up, and
What happened to that person?
And that person was killed.
What?
Yeah, so that was part of the spawn of why this law came into effect.
They were like pushed or something?
No, it was caught on camera. I mean, this was all over the news about a month or two ago. It was caught on camera.
How did I miss this story?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily like all over the news per se, but it definitely made the news. And so it's kind of, one of those things where something bad had to happen in order for a law like this to come into effect.
Well, at
But-
least it's a lesson for all of us. If
Yes,
you're out on
yes.
on Hollywood and Highland and you're walking the Walk of
So
Fame.
not saying we'd ever be on there. If you ever do see us on there and we're acting, do give us some money, please.
We might not be in costume.
No.
Well, there's some fun stuff happening in Bollywood.
Oh, the other side of the world now. Let's go.
Right?
I wish we could take a plane there right now.
Let's go to. Are you kidding? You want to sit in a 24-hour flight?
I was actually at. Speaking of, I'm gonna go on a tangent here. I was at a dinner last night for Singapore Airlines.
Oh.
And
Did you get free tickets?
I did not win the free tickets. I wish. They were giving away a free round trip to anyone in the world for one of the giveaways. A second giveaway was free tickets to the Laker games. And I'm like, I would have taken either one of those.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyways, the one thing I wouldn't mind. I can't afford this, but if I had the money and I could fly anywhere in the world for 24 hours, they actually have bedrooms in the planes now.
Yes, they do.
And they were promoting this bedroom. Like, that's kind of cool.
Singapore Airlines is amazing.
Yeah.
Too, the way they've set it up.
Yeah.
So
Seeing they have it's not first class, it's bedroom class.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Speaking of, I think Lufthansa is also doing a giveaway too. If people go to their website, they want you to upload a dance video.
See
And
that
I
you'd be right for this. You know,
Okay.
you and Yogi, man. I'm telling you, man.
So if you upload your dance video, and I guess the one who's the most popular shall win.
So are
that's
you going to
kinda
enter
fun.
that?
I don't know, but if I do, I will let all of you guys know so you
All right.
can get on that website and vote for me.
Well, since we're speaking of planes, this next story actually involves a plane.
It does?
Yeah. Well, why don't you introduce us what the story is, and I'll tell you the plane connection.
I don't think there's a plane connection.
There is.
Anyways,
There is. I'll
I don't
tell
know.
you in a minute.
I think we have a photograph of this young, handsome actor.
SRK.
He's known as SRK, King Khan, Shah Rukh Khan.
There he is.
Basically is one of the leading actors and pretty much runs Bollywood. One of the big...
Pretty much. He does run
He does.
Bollywood.
Well, Amitabh Bachchan, I would say. I'm still a fan of Amitabh. Anyway, for those who know about Shah Rukh Khan, he basically is a very confident person, and I can attest to this. I've interviewed him a few times. Just knows how to speak very well. When he walks into the room, he's one of those people who just commands.
He's got a
attention.
presence.
He's got a presence.
Yes.
But what's funny is that he actually admits to how shy he is. And there was an incident when he was talking to the media, and this is according to the Times of India, that he had to wear a pair of shorts and he was feeling really shy. He was shooting for this film called he was filming for this song called Darde Disco from a popular movie called Om Shanti Om, which, by the way, a lot of Westerners are very familiar with that film as well. And there's a scene that he had to get into the water and wear his trunks, but there were a lot of women around, and he felt really conscious about it. There was a lot of female dancers, so he kind of requested the production team that he get to jump in the water after some of the women had cleared out. So I thought, they asked the dancers to leave, and then he was able to do that scene.
So the last paragraph of this article talks about a plane experience of his, when he was on a British Airways flight.
Oh, super cute. This is super cute. Go ahead.
So the story is he's on a flight on British Airways, and he was asked by the air hostess if he wants something to eat and was given menu options. Shah Rukh had no idea what she was talking about.
I think because maybe her accent was confusing. Is what he was saying.
Exactly. So he ended up starving the whole flight because he had no idea that he was being offered food.
Poor thing.
I mean, he was offered food.
But how difficult is it to understand a British accent?
Well, especially in India, right? When they had a lot of British accents for a long time. Yeah.
I don't understand.
You have a good. I couldn't pull that off.
Could I be casted as a British?
Well, we were talking about that before you came in about casting and minorities and.
Yes, I need an audition. But anyways, I find this very cute and humbling about him because, again, like I said, he's one of the biggest actors in Bollywood, and you would not get that from him. Like, you would just, I would never even think it. I think it's adorable that he actually opened up and shared that with the media.
Well, I think that's, I always give credit to any star who is willing to, and this goes back to our Corey Feldman talk from early in the show, that any actor that's willing to talk about who they are as a person, because it's so, it's so easy to get typecast as who your characters are.
Absolutely.
For example, a film coming out in the next week or so, it has Dean Norris in it, the counselor, comes out tomorrow. And Dean Norris is in it now. Dean Norris was the DEA agent and the brother-in-law in Breaking Bad.
Right.
So it's very easy to confuse Dean Norris as, oh, he's that guy from that show.
Right. Well, that's because we're so used to seeing
Exactly.
it. Did you just jump from Bollywood to back to Hollywood?
Yeah, well, that's,
okay. I just want to make it clear
Isn't that supposed to be the way this is supposed to roll?
Yes, it is.
We got to go back and forth,
But you're right. But you get so used to seeing these actors as characters, and we forget their human side.
They're human beings, and they have real stories to tell.
Exactly. And speaking of human side, so we're going to go to the cons basically sometimes rule this industry.
Yes.
Another popular name in the industry is Salman Khan.
Salman,
We have a photo of him as well. He has a huge fan following. And it's funny because if you see that shirt, well, it looks like it says being hum, but it's supposed to say being human which is his foundation.
That shirt looks very loose on him. It's not as tight. You gotta, okay, for those of you who don't know, Salman Khan is the epitome of wearing the tightest of tight shirts. I mean, he might as well not wear a shirt at all, but anyways, he's doing a Being Human campaign, right?
Right, and he helps the needy with it. And basically, he gives back to the community. I mean, they call him like the big brother, the big pie type of person. And so I think he's made a really conscious effort to make sure that people know about this charity, and he's very active in it.
Well, we do see this on both sides of the coast, or both sides of the world, where you see a Bollywood actor, a Hollywood actor that actually does take on a significant cause. Hrithik Roshan, who's also another big Bollywood actor, has done a lot of charity, and he's done a lot of good work for good people. So to see this, I think I don't think this is disingenuous. I think him doing this is legit. It's real. Seeing him wear a Being Human shirt like he's wearing there, I think it's legit, and I give him props. I mean, it's definitely something that we need people like him who has a large following to be able to be the bridge from the haves and the have-nots.
Right.
I mean, he's got the power to do it.
And I think that's what I was going to say. Anytime you have that much power, especially in India, oh my gosh, like people just swarm the streets when they see this guy walking. And I think for him to be able to send a positive message, because, in his younger years now, he was known for, and I think sometimes he still does have the issues of being very hot-tempered.
Yeah.
Just get mad very quickly. But I think, again, to step out from the film world and step out from that and to be able to use his stature to be able to give back, I think is a huge thing, especially in a country that just does need a lot of help.
Yeah, I agree. There was actually this was a couple of years ago, maybe it was 2012, maybe 2011, 2012. There was actually a movie that was produced by a nonprofit.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually at IFLA last year. Remember the film I Am Kalam?
I think I heard about it.
Okay, so the film called I Am Kalam. It stars Gulshan Grover. And it's actually Kalam. The name in the film is actually based upon the former Indian president who was named Kalam.
That's right.
Who was Muslim.
Right.
And it was interesting at the time. India had a Sikh president or Sikh prime minister and a Muslim president in a Hindu country. which is really cool because it's basically like America having a black president and a Hispanic vice president, right? But this film was produced by the Eye Foundation, and basically all the money that was raised from the film went to charity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like we always have so much to talk
Too much,
about,
too
and
much.
the hour goes by so quickly. And again,
You mean the half hour goes by quickly?
half an hour for me today. But we had so much fun. I'd like to thank Alan, who's always
Alan.
running our show behind the scenes. And coming up next is Culinary Trends. They're on at 8 o'clock here
8
on
to
Rant
9,
Radio
yes.
on Rant Radio Network. So
Yeah.
stay tuned because they always have an exciting show. And don't forget, tune in next week again.
For Halloween.
TinselTown Talkies.
TinselTown Talkies. It's Pimo.
Have a good Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
I know there's something out there that's bothering you. You want to let people know about it. Just give us a call.
If what's bothering you is Mikey's accent, give us a call too.
That's right. I'll teach you how to speak Puerto Rican.
Do you know how to speak Puerto Rican?
Yo creo que sí.
Yo creo que no.
Again, 855-693-4897, Rant Radio Network.